Does the picture seem close up? All right, so now what we're going to do, right? Now that we are completely living in a phantasmagorical 1999 world, we now officially are in it. There's no denying we're in it with the Tesla going up in 100-point increments now. Again, like I said, the further it goes, the easier it is to go up more. And again, you have to be asking yourself at this time, why would it go down tomorrow? Everything, it's hot. Everybody wants to own it. The laws of supply and demand. The market's never been about valuation, right? The only time people start talking about value is when your stock stinks and you start trying to come up with reasons to stick around. Or you're getting a short squeeze and the bears are just they keep talking about how it's overvalued. It's not overvalued because tomorrow more people still want to own it. So then therefore it's not overvalued, right? So you see this? I'm going to show you something interesting. Where did it go? I don't know where it is right now, but I have an autograph, right, of somebody that's really, really cool. If you don't know who they are, then it's really not worth anything to you. But if it's somebody that you think is really cool, like, whatever the autograph is that I'm talking about, then it's worth a lot of money to one person. Or it's overvalued to another person. There is no real value to any of this. And that's what's the best part about the stock market. There really isn't any value of any of it. It's all built on hope and faith, right? Look what it is. Are you going to tell me that the fortunes of Tesla now have increased another $75 billion from Friday? It's impossible. Nothing they've done changed that much to make something worth more. And I'm just rounding it off, $75 billion more. I don't know. I do know that space is where you want your money, right? Because that's the new and exciting place to be, right? Tesla went up to 385 without having one flicker of earnings. It was all hope and faith and excitement about their new car. And it was awesome. And then everybody tried to see, what's it valued at? What should it be valued at? It's all relative. It's all bullshit. And once you accept that it's bullshit, then it makes it easier to believe that the stock could go to $1,000, and it's going to go to $1,000 tomorrow. Because why wouldn't it go to $1,000 tomorrow? That's the question you should be asking yourself right now. So the only stocks that are based in reality stink, like Pfizer. Who cares about Pfizer, right? Whatever. We all know what Pfizer does. They make X amount of drugs. It costs them this much to make the drug, and this is what they sell it for. There's no more story there. It is what it is now. But with Tesla, it's exciting because you don't know. I want to be involved. They're doing new things. Maybe they're going to give you shares back of Solar City, or like I've been saying, you're going to colonize Mars, and you're going to have every share of Tesla you own, you're going to get an acre of Mars. You can't tell me that thesis now hasn't provided you with one of the greatest stock moves in the history of the market. And I called it live 7 different times. And my entire thesis was that everybody wants to own Tesla, and that's why it's going to go to 750. Now, the jumping off point was when they turned the profit, which caught the shorts off guard. And remember, speaking as a short, I know how dumb and irresponsible we are. We will not accept defeat because we think we're smarter than everybody else. Too hot. Oh, it's gone up too much too fast. It's not valued this much. Oh, it's just a short squeeze. Oh, you'll get your comeuppance. You're never going to get your comeuppance. Nobody's short Tesla. There's not one person that could be legitimately still short now after a 128-point move in your face in one day. No way. You had to have given up. And it's still closed at the highs of the day, even after the blow off top, meaning that this stock probably is going to go higher tomorrow. And then there'll be this pause, maybe there'll be a pause. It doesn't seem to want to pause, where the shorts will think, oh, this must be the pause before the fall. And they're going to be wrong again. And it's going to be $1,200. And then they're going to announce a 20-for-1 split. And when the stock's down at $70, everyone's going to gobble it up, making it a $2,000, $3,000 stock. And then they'll split it again, and everyone's going to gobble it up. And then lo and behold, the guy who said $6,000 is going to be right. The stock is going to be worth $6,000 split adjusted within probably a year and a half, right? It's only tenfold from here, not even 8 times. You don't think Tesla can go up 8 more times on this run? Why not? Why not? Because I tell you right now, there's no doubt in my mind, if Tesla was to be split tonight and it comes and it opens up tomorrow at $90, I'm buying it. I'm not thinking about valuation. I'm not thinking about whether they sell a car or not. It's the hottest stock on the planet. Now I have an opportunity to own it at $90. Bang, I'm in. Now, 1999 ended poorly because you had so many companies that were based in with zero going on, right? You had 4 employees with an idea, and the stock kept going up and up and up. And then finally, when they started to crash, then people started looking, does this company have any value at all? And most of them didn't. For me, as far as I'm concerned, 1 stock and 2 stocks have made it. Akamai, because that was thrown out with the baby with the bathwater, and that came back obviously in a big way because they were a legitimate company. And Ciena, telephone equipment and data equipment. SCIEN was one of these high-flying companies that crashed right back down to pennies on the dollar, and that managed to come all the way back. And I guess you could throw Amazon in there also. Yahoo never made it back to where its heyday. And then 85% of those companies that were doing what Tesla's doing now aren't even around because they weren't real companies. And a lot of that stuff became obsolete. B2B, like business to business software, whatever that whole industry was. And then fiber optics, obviously didn't pan out. DSL lines and all that stuff. Pets.com and all the other websites that we don't need. And then again, Pets.com has been reborn into Chewy and so forth and so on. But this is what I want to stop right now, is what I want to do right now. Again, for you guys that are out there, and I know there's only 16 of you guys watching, but some of you guys, when you watch this later, it's fantastic right now to be an investor in the market. Obviously, diamonds, Qs, SPYs, you can't go wrong. Tesla, AMD. On a smaller scale, our space is doing pretty well for us. Today we added Teva Pharmaceuticals to the hold list. Got stopped out of one of our new trades. I bought some on semiconductor, trying to, I got a good day trade. Again, a good swing trade should come out of a day trade, not the other way around. So I held on to some on, and I had full intentions of holding on to it unless it broke $20. And at the end of the day, it broke $20, so they went to swing trade. So done. And that's how quickly I make my decision. I could be 100% certain of what I'm going to do. But then if the stock does something that I don't want to see or goes back below a certain level, then I'm out. By the way, one of the biggest moves you're ever going to find, right? Now, I don't know if this was actually, I didn't see if it really went there, but wow. I wasn't here for this move. Holy cow. So, and what I also do as part of the room, if you're ever wondering, it's mostly I teach people how to trade around the VWAP and the reversals. We program your charts so you get a feel for exactly what we're looking at on a daily basis. Nothing's going to beat the intraday reversal trade. 26 of them in a row so far for earnings. And just to show you the trades that we did today, just on the basis of the 1 minute range break reversal trade, we had Apple. I have not traded Apple in got to be a couple of years. I don't trade Apple. But today, look who's gapping down, breaking over the 1 minute and getting over the pre-market range, making it a screaming buy. So we bought the Apple. 3.0, it all started at 308.50 and then got up to, what was it, the 311.75 was the crossover. And then we sold into that move. And here's what's awesome about this trade is no way did I think Apple would ever close red today. The market's on fire. Apple's the greatest stock on the planet next to Tesla. And it just went green. I don't know why Apple was gapped down 5 points. I think it had something to do with the China production of the iPhone. Probably that had something to do with it. I'm just assuming. I didn't read any news about it. But Apple gapping down, Apple breaking ranges, Apple going VWAP, multi-day VWAP. We're a buyer. And then we had a stop on the rest. So now we're thinking at 111.24 was our stop. If 11.24 is our stop on the long trade, why not switch sides and get short? So we got shorted. We got stopped out. We got short, and we lost money. And then it broke above the range, and it was a good cover. But we had made money on the long on the Apple. Then we shorted it. We lost money. We lost money twice. And then it finally rolled over, and we made all of that money back and then some, all on Apple today. And then there was LK gapping up. They sold the gap up. They sold the gap up, off, down. Then it broke back over the 1 minute, the multi-day, and broke the opening range, screaming buy. We bought LK, stock pops, made some money on the way up, got stopped out on the way down. That time we didn't short it. But again, the premise is you trade the same setup. Every once in a while, you get a Tesla where it breaks out and just never comes back. Every once in a while, you get an LK that you sell into it, you get stopped out, and it tanks, and you're lucky that you're out, just like the Apple. And then you had AMD, which got the gap down, got the reversal to the upside. Stock went up. Looks like we're about to make a lot of money. We put a stop on. It rolls over. We get stopped out. Only difference between the other trade that I mentioned and AMD was that one, we got stopped out. It sold off a little bit more and then had a dramatic reversal and came back, and we should have got back in. But at that point, I had already checked out of the day because I don't want to do this all day. That's our goal. If you can make money every day for an hour and a half, 2 hours of work, and then the decision what to do with that money is always on you. I could give you suggestions. And obviously there's a guy, one of our guys still owns LK. We had everything about that stock screaming. 27.50, 30, 32.50, 35. 37.50, 40. You got the 42.50. You got 45. Finally, this guy's buying. After we were in from 27, one of our guys finally says, "Oh man, I got to get back into this thing if it breaks 50." So I was like, "Yeah, 50 will probably get you 52.50. If it doesn't get to 52.50, just sell it on the way back down at 50 and 47.50, because if it doesn't get to 52.50, chances are momentum is going to roll over." Right? And it did. But at that point, he got stubborn, like Jimmy with the Yext. It's tough to get into a trade where mentally you're thinking, I'm going to hang on to this one. I'm going to swing it. And then 20 minutes later, or even the next day, you're thinking, this stinks. I made a mistake. Yes, it stinks. You made a mistake. The next step is to take the loss. Take the loss. Take the loss. Think about it. I was short Tesla on Friday. Think I'm going to be stubborn about shorting Tesla? I think the stock's going to $1,000, but the shorts there was a setup for the short, and I was up 4 points on it, and I wound up losing 6 points, and it sucked. But there's no way I'm going to stay short the stock with the potential that this thing has to go up every freaking day. So, I've said this a million times. It's okay to be wrong. You just don't want to stay wrong, right? So now we've got guys flush with cash. My Tesla guys, my Tesla people, they don't want to do anything now. They just want to, whatever my next idea is. But I said, no, how about this for an idea? Take some of that Tesla money and fund one of my guys or one of my people. So the idea is that I can get you a limited trading authorization. You file some paperwork. You come up with a little bit of your own money as a buffer. Because in this situation, you put up $2,000 or $3,000 of your own money as a sign of good faith, because no one wants to give you their money and you're just going to go willy-nilly and go crazy with it and blow some money up. You never know. They don't know. They put my faith in me, and I want to put my faith in other people. But if you consistently just take my ideas intraday, because again, when I'm in the Apple trade, all things stopped. I'm in Apple. I'm watching Apple. Can't focus on anything else. But my scanner's telling me that, hey, I should be buying whatever it was, SYY. And then I got another. Oh my God. Do you guys see PCG? And we're still in the PCG, right? See, I set you guys up within the PCG at a $10, $20 call spread, right? Just like space. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but I just noticed it was at 1770. The stock is up sevenfold. So for every Tesla that you miss, you get a PCG. We'll find them for you. That's why that's why we like the Uber down there and the Twitter and the AAOI for less. It didn't really work out. You got paid, but didn't really work as much as we wanted it to. AUPH, ITCI, all these stocks coming out of the doldrums, right? No, PCG, that's one of our swings from the room. I definitely mentioned it on YouTube for a while, but I think I probably named the video "Burn Your House Down, Buy the Stock," something like that. But when the stock got halted, right, because they were under more investigations, and they possibly were going to lose more lawsuits, and the stock still managed to fight back. That was it. And the options, they're expensive, so you do a call spread. The situation here is that we got January call spreads in the stock that now you don't even want to be in the spread part of it, because all we're doing now is we have to wait. We're already locked into the trade. So we have January 2015s, bought the $10 calls, I think, what they were at $3 or $4, but then we sold the 20s for like $1 or 50 cents, and that was a waste of time. But I digress, because again, I want to talk about the LK situation. When you get one of these swing trades wrong, it's a disaster. There's an LK waiting for us all. There always is. All right. So even though this market is unstoppable, the market's never going down, ever. We just shook off another pandemic. Whether this pandemic translates into something more down the road, no one's going to know. But that doesn't matter, because all you're going to do is trade reversals intraday. So when you get a Friday, and again, let me just reiterate how awful Thursday was for me. I haven't had a day like that. Overall, basically lost $5,000 in a day. I haven't lost $5,000 in a day in 20, not 20 years, but probably in 6 years. That's how conservative I am with my trading. Never do I do what I did on Thursday. And then I went nuts trading in the aftermarket and not trading my, goofing around 20 shares. I'm in 1,200 shares of Visa like a maniac in the aftermarket with a $1.20 spread, just blitzing at them. I'm just going nuts, adding 400 share increments like a schmuck. And then I'm trying to trade Amazon. And I'm not trading one share. I'm trading like 300 shares Amazon. This thing's ripping in my face, 15 points. It was insane. And the whole time I'm like, I'd shut the computer off and I came back to try to make some money in the worst possible way I could. We all slip, we all freak out, we all bug out. But the stock I wanted to mention to you, if you were paying attention to these videos, and I know I talk for an hour, so a lot of times you don't hear these things. That's why I want you in the room. I put the alerts on. I go over the trades every day. I have a watch list so we can watch. GDOT. GDOT. I know what I'm doing. I smell recoveries. Google me. Google Kenny Glick AMD. I've been long the stock since 250. I know how to smell these stocks a mile away when they're coming out of the doldrums. That's why when somebody said, what do you think about Teva Pharmaceuticals? I immediately bought it because it looks like that chart pattern that I'm so familiar with. I call it the exhaustion situation formation, the basing out, the flirting with long-term volume weighted average price triggers, the negative news that's already baked into the stock. And again, you would think U.S. Steel would be down there. U.S. Steel is not one of those stocks, even though it sucked. U.S. Steel has still not stopped going down. The stock has to stop going down, build a base, form a long-term VWAP, and you got to get through. There has to be this moment where there's more negative stories and the stock doesn't do anything. And you know right there, the sellers are exhausted. That's why we call it the exhaustion situation formation. So GDOT. And 2 weeks ago, we had LB. We also had Peloton come out of that situation. LB was last week coming out. Not as amazing, was more of an ass crack break on that one. You want to see a little bit more consolidation than the LB, but still the LB wasn't bad. What else was there? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But then what's amazing is that there's always a reason that the stocks stop going down. Because the powers that be, not me or my 50 guys or my 20 investors, right? Yeah. It's not me that makes the stock move. I just see the writing on the wall when the big guys are moving. And then look what GDOD did. I mean, that's sick. Sick. I mean, it came back to where it broke out from, but what a beautiful move. And, you know, again, this was one that we just added to the list. And again, somebody asked me, what do I think about I? I don't care about I yet because the letter I. The stock is still not stopped going down. So you can't take it seriously until you actually stop going down, like Uber. You got to stop going down. You have to rally, and then you have to fail, and you have to test those lows. Once you get that, and if you get that for an extended period of time, like Uber, you know, you had the 25.50 area. I think it was 25.50. Yeah, 25.50. It came off it, and then it sold off again to the same exact price, that 25.58. That's where you start thinking, all right, maybe we're on to the bottom. And then it breaks out of the breakdown price. So for us on Uber, it was about 28.50. Sorry. Yeah, 25.50 was the low. We're not thinking about buying it there. But at 28.50, now we're thinking, all right, we missed a couple of points off the bottom because nobody could pick the bottom. The bottom picks itself. Now you get involved. Our multi-day VWAP was $34. So if we're going to buy something at 28 and our first target is 34 with the ultimate target of 38, and then, of course, our new levels, now we're looking for $41.40, right? By the way, space, rocking. You got 3 points of risk. Sorry, yeah, 28.50. Let's round it off. So 28.50, and we know there's no way in hell we're going to not dump the stock if it breaks 25.50, right? So 3 points max on the trade with an unlimited upside, because obviously, in theory, if you're buying a stock, you have unlimited upside potential. But we wanted to be conservative. Let's get to the lifetime VWAP at $34. So buying something at 28, let's round it off to 28 and say 25. So you're risking 3, 28 to try to make, you're risking 3 to try to make 6. on the first move. We got that, sold some Uber, and now we're playing with house money. And if this thing breaks over the 38.25, we're looking at easy $41. And that's why, again, as soon as Uber was to disappoint now, and now obviously you're not going to wait till it goes back to 28 bucks or 25. Now you've sold some at 34. That's your stop. Okay? Your stop now on Uber would be $34 and change. You don't let it turn into a disaster. Now, again, once you have a swing trade on, I can't tell you that tomorrow Uber gets sued again or whatever, and the stock gap's down 7 points. Once you're a swing trader or an investor, the skills that you possess as a trader are nullified. You understand that. But bring it home now, because I want to go eat. Take these reversal trades that I teach. Have some money that you've made from the market, so then it's not as bad if you give it back. At least you're playing with money that you created, and now you're letting it you're trying to do something else with it by swinging or using the word investment. Because again, space to me is an investment. I'm in. I bought more on the pullback. And again, one of the things that you want to do, right? If you're in a stock and it's not performing up to your standards or whatever you believe should be happening, and you're not confident enough to buy more, then you might as well sell it because you've already given up. And as much as if you read some of the texts that I used to, when INSG, remember INSG? For a year and a half, and I wasn't even losing money. I mean, I bought some more over 5, and that's what kind of ruined the trade. But I was in from 350, from 420, and then I bought more at 5, and then I top ticked it, and then it sat around for basically a year. So I was getting pissed off. The market was going up every day. So I'm ripping into INSG, talking about how much I hate stocks, and this stock sucks, and I can't believe I own this piece of shit. What a piece of shit. Oh my God, this is the worst stock I've ever owned, blah, blah, blah. And then in 3 weeks, it made up all of that lost time. Right to 750, where I basically blew out of it, most of it 750, watch it to go to 10. And now we're back at 7, and I'm thinking about buying it back. And then you got PCG, and I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, of course it's working. I have one contract. And again, that's another thing about this whole game. If I would have started my position with 10 or 15 contracts, would it be sitting here at 1775 2 weeks later? Probably not. But because I started with one contract and I haven't added to it at all, of course it's going. Of course it's kicking ass. And that just leads me to a reason, like, I don't know why I got out of all my Tesla. I should have just held 4 shares just to say I had it. You know, I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know what came over me. I think I was dumbfounded that it got to 500 that quickly. And 285 points late. Sorry. No, I sold it at 420, really, basically. Oh my God. It's just insane. I think Space is a $30 stock. So I have $10 calls, $15 calls, and the stock. And I started and I wrote the $35 calls. So I think minimum, obviously, I think we're going to 35, and I hope it lands at 34.99 on Jet in that whatever that month expires, because that's what I'm in. I have, you know, a bunch of stock, bunch of options, and I wrote the 35s against the whole thing, and that's it. You know, and 3 more reversals that worked today. And we could also say, I mean, Google was the reversal just now in the aftermarket. Obviously, I'm not trading in the aftermarket. I am not trading in the aftermarket. After Thursday, you know, when I lost the money on the Visa, that was it. I mean, you had an earnings reversal in the aftermarket, and I'm in it right from the crossover, and I still wound up losing money on it. You know, and then, I was so burnt that I couldn't possibly get back into it again. And then it actually turned out to be pretty good. Same thing with the Lamb research and all that. Sometimes you're just a little bit too early. So I'd rather be late and right than early and wrong. And trading in the aftermarket, that one time where you make that $800 in 20 seconds, it's so gratifying that you think it's going to be that easy the next time. It's never that easy ever again, it seems. Because over the big picture, and I've been doing this my whole life, I would say more than 80% of the time I lose money in the aftermarket. So by just that notion, no matter how the setup looks, I have an 80% chance of losing money. Don't do it. I have an 80% chance of losing money buying options before stocks report their earnings. I stopped doing that in 2010. I do it now every once in a while just for fun. And it's now it's 50-50. You know, I'll make money on a Xilinx and then I'll give it back on a Lam Research. I'll make money on the Pan W, give it right back on the whatever the other one was, and that in the FEYE, whatever it was. But the one thing that remains constant is the reversals during the day. I've never seen anything like this before, ever. I've never seen anything work this consistently. And if you can legitimately be that guy, and I know you can, because you're going to want to be that guy. Be the guy that turns the computer on at 9:15, grab a list of 10 stocks, and watch those 10 stocks for an hour and a half. And when one of them reverses, trade it, and then make money, and then shut the computer off. Because after that, you know, for me, the day was over at 10:45. And I want to help and keep teaching and talking, but there was legitimately nothing to do. Nothing. So I had nothing to say. And then finally the apple rolled over, and then there was something to make. And then there was something to make. There was something to do, I should say. You had the apple breaking down under the price that we had targeted. Next thing you know, there's a trade. I think it really comes down to just not, I mean, again, why am I not loaded up on PCG? I was scared. I'm scared to own PCG. And then I looked at the price of the options. I was like, wow, those are pretty damn expensive. Maybe they'll, you know, maybe if the stock sits around for a week or two, maybe the option prices will, you know, the longer the stock does nothing, the option prices consolidate a little bit and they come down in price. The less volatility the stock has, the cheaper the option, right? But it backfired on me and just exploded to the upside. So why am I not in the PCG stock? I'm scared, right? One more news story comes out, the stock's right back to $11, right? And I'm getting crushed. But with options, stock gets crushed, I know exactly what I'm going to lose. And I still like it. I mean, obviously, stock was $7 when this whole thing got started. But, you know, PCG, you got no resistance, really. I mean, you're almost here. It's almost not as, you know, 1889 is our target. But then once you get past the 1889, then we're talking fun times. You know, then we're talking 24 and a half. The $24, you know, that $24, it's around, yeah, I'll give you the exact number, $24.33 according to the computer. I'm just, you know, I'm giving you my VWAP levels. You break 24.33, now you're talking about gap filling, okay? So if you could get through 24 on this stock, you got nothing to prevent it from going to $40. So what? How could you not want to be in this, right? The dumb thing is I started with a call spread. Now not going to take the loss on the $20 calls that I wrote. I'll just let this, you know, go and get expired. But the stock got hammered so quickly on the downside that there's these gaps in the prices. So once you get into that gap zone, it's easy for a stock to fill the gap. You follow? So once you get over this 24 range, you had this massive candle and there's a gap at 30 and a half. And then there's a gap above 35 that takes you all the way up to 40. So if you can get through this 24, the shorts are going to start covering. Really, the gap starts at around 27, 28 bucks. So 28 could get you right to 40. And again, anytime you start thinking, oh, this stock can't do that. Oh, it can't do that. Just remember Tesla. So the next time you think, oh, this thing can't keep going, Tesla. And every time you think a stock can't keep going down, Funko. Funko, right? Funko. Wait a minute, Jimmy's here. I think that's Jimmy right there. Jimmy, 2 years later, Jimmy, if you had just been in the room, you'd be in Tesla with Deb. She's retired now. They're in from 3.25. They still own the stock. It's $781, man. But again, when you have a swing trade that's not working, you just get out. Yeah, PCG. Just the only thing about PCG is that you have to own it. They gap the stock every day. 75% of the move is on the gap, and then it just, you'll get more. You'll get some more out of it. But tomorrow, you're probably looking at, well, then again, today's a big move. You might get some consolidation, but you're in a new zone now. I don't see the stock pulling back till, I see it going right to it's just 7 more points. 7 more points makes complete sense, right? Look at it this way. What was the other company like Stamps.com? They had one thing going for them, and then they didn't have that one thing. If the business model is built on one thing and they take that one thing away, then the company doesn't exist, right? PCG, right? PCG, no, you don't have to be a maniac to be long Tesla. Especially if you're sitting on profits. What's going to happen if it goes down tomorrow, right? Oh, man, I was loving that halftime show. By the way, I had the greatest bet on the world. I got to go, but I love sports gambling. It's the same thing as the stock market, right? When the trade's going your way, right, you wish you had a ton of shares, right? When the trade's not going your way, you're thinking, oh, thank God I don't have that much. It's not going to be such a bad trade. I don't have that many shares on, right? The first bet, I wanted to get some odds, right? So I took Kansas City minus 4.5, but I was getting odds on my money. That's why I laid out more than, the regular line was minus 1.5. So I laid out 4.5 to get paid a little bit more on my money. Obviously at 2010, I'm thinking, good thing I didn't really have any real money on this bet because I'm going to lose. And then they made that touchdown to get it closer. And I love the greatest thing about DraftKings is then you could add to your bet, but the odds were now I had to lay out 125 to make 100 instead of laying out 100 to win 175. So just like anything else, now I'm thinking, oh, what was I thinking? I should have bet big. Oh, I knew all along, right? Yeah, you knew it all along, right? At 2010, you're thanking God you don't have that much money on the line, and then next thing you know, you knew it all along, and why didn't I have more money on the game? So, but with Tesla, why sell it this close to 1,000? You have to assume it's going to $1,000, and they're going to do a 10-for-1 split. And the best part about it, if you're still in Tesla, not saying the guy that bought it this morning, which let's say if you bought it, I don't even know where it opened up officially today. It opened up around 30 points higher, I think, today. 373. I don't know, was up 20 or 30 at the open. You're up a cool 100, right? The chances of it gapping down 100 are very slim. So tomorrow, you put a stop on it at 750, right? Opens up at 820, then you put a stop on it at 800. There's no reason not to be in it because there hasn't been a real reason to sell. It still hasn't broken the uptrend, which is nuts. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy to be in it, but it's not. That's what's crazy. Putting on 20% right now is just insane. Putting on another 20% today was mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing. Yeah, I agree. Jimmy is the guy that bought Yext on a swing trade when we would we offer swing trades in the room, on top of all the thousands of other things we do. And Jimmy was very, very happy about getting into the stock. But then 3 days later, I was like, listen, Jimmy, I don't think this thing's working out. I'm taking 50% off because it looks pretty shitty. And Jimmy said, no, you said it was going to 30. I'm hanging on. I was like, yeah, but now I'm thinking I'm wrong. You listen to me on the way in, but you don't want to listen to me on the way out because you don't want to take the loss. Take the loss, move on. We'll find something else. And he didn't want to sell. So now Jimmy hates me, even though I tried. Like LK, I tried to tell people, look, if it breaks back under 47.50, it could go right back to 27.50. And it did. I can't be right about everything. But it's hard to take losses. Nobody wants to do it. PCG, right now, now that it's gotten through the 12.50 and the 15 and the 17.50, there's a gap in between $13 and $14.13, right? So I use the gap price. So again, I'm not in the stock, so I don't have a stop. I'm in. This thing's going to $20. I'm in. I'm in a $10, $20 call spread. I have no choice but to stay in right now because I'm losing on the $20 call that I wrote. But if I was in the stock, I'd be looking at this gap area as my out. So if it goes below, let's say $14 and the exact price, no, 14. 14's your out. Breaks 14. But if it pulls back to 14 and holds it, that's where you want to get back into this stock. Because again, look, they're burning down houses. They covered it up. They killed a lot of people. They ruined the entire state. They thought the company's going out of business. Now it's not. So that stock has to go up. I mean, it's up 700% already. So there will be a consolidation at some level. But we just broke out. And I don't see anything preventing this thing from getting, the next real resistance. You're here. I mean, what was I saying? Your resistance that's coming up next is right around the corner. Could be tomorrow, 1880. But there's so much going on. There is not a lack of opportunity right now. Who the hell thought we'd be talking about Teva Pharmaceuticals? The stock's awful, but now it's not. So that's why we're in it. I mean, there's one stock that you think Tesla's amazing on the way up? How shitty is U.S. Steel? I mean, come on. How does U.S. Steel go down every day in this market with the economy booming? U.S. freaking Steel? Terrible. But there'll be a day where U.S. Steel comes back from the dead, and I'll be rah, rah, rah all about U.S. Steel, and somebody there will say, I thought you said it was going to zero. Thought you said it was going to zero. Well, now it's not. And that'll be exactly what I say. But I think it's going to 666. That's where it came from in 2015. When it was February 2015. That's where everything's going back down to. All right, I'm going to go make dinner. Nice hanging with you. Come to the room. Let me train you. I'll give you the money. You press the buttons. Limited trading authorization. You'll get the best education you ever could imagine. You get my expertise, my buddy Soligello's expertise. We got guys in there that have been with me for 7 years now, just killing it. I mean, we have people that are still in Tesla, which is insane. Tesla, they got the Beyond Meat from $85. The list goes on and on and on. And then when the stock stops producing and providing for you, dump it. There's going to be another one. And then what's going to be fun is that there will be a sell-off that lasts more than a day. I promise you, it's coming. There'll be a sell-off that lasts 3 freaking days, and we're going to make money on those 3 days like never before because it's going to be awesome. There'll be one of these no bid, oh my God, what's happening, sell-offs. And but my method requires some level of trading knowledge. Absolutely. But I train you to the point where it's all you know. All you're going to know is VWAP. That's it. Anybody ask you a question about what you think about this? I don't know. Where's the VWAP? I just trade VWAP reversals. And you'll see how amazing it is. And that's all you'll want to do. And then if you want to expand from there, I'll teach you how about the long-term VWAP charts and how to find swing trades and all that stuff. All right. But just phenomenal day. 3 trades, all winners. Stopped while I was ahead. You know, I mean, overall 3 winners. I had 2 losses on Apple short before it rolled over, but it's 3 names, I should say, all profitable at the end of the day. LK, Apple, AMD. That's it. And there was a ton of talent. There was probably 100 things. I never traded space today, just in it, never got in, never found an opportunity to get into the Uber. I watched PCG, breaking 17. I didn't want to chase it. Very specific on what I do during the day. And you're going to miss opportunities. So it doesn't matter. There's another one every day. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Spread the word. Let's get our crew here on YouTube up to 100 people, 200 people, and then I don't know. Maybe I'll buy some bots. I'll buy 1,000 bots so I can see that 1,000 people are. Because I heard that's what people do. You buy views or you buy viewers. Like, I guess the idea is that if people see that there's 2,000 people watching, that will entice other people to come see what these other 2,000 people are watching. But it turns out most of those are fake. There's fake viewers. So I'm going to assume that there's not 1,700 people watching that guy talk about long-term option plays, you know? And again, let me express once again, I picked the pick out of his picks that worked. So I got lucky, right? He gave 3 ideas. Apple call spread, complete fail. eBay call spread, complete fail. Xilinx, ghetto spread, which I find hilarious, that term. And the idea is you're buying the cheapest out of the money on each side, and you're hoping for a big move, and we got it. We got the big move in Xilinx. It tanked down under 88. You know, again, I wish I would have held on to it for a couple more days, but where's your Alcoa now? Where the hell is Alcoa now? I haven't looked at that stock since Manarinho was talking about buying it. I sold it that day. I never looked back. I think I did all right by getting out, right? But my big position right now, it's all about space. It's all about space. And now, obviously, I wish I would have bought a meaningful amount of it on that last dip, because then I could have at least sold some into this move. And, you know, but I sold some $35 calls for February for 85 cents, which I've already covered at a nickel. So I've already offset my cost in the stock. All right, I could talk forever. Ghetto spreads for everybody. I'm telling you, ghetto spreads, which is hilarious, is the first option trade that me and my dad used to do. Because we learned, we went to an options ceremony. We went to an options spread. What's the word I'm looking for? Class. Seminar is the word I was looking for. We went to an options seminar to hear them talk. And they talked about how would you like to make money without knowing which direction the stock is going to go. And I was like, that's awesome. How? And I was just learning about options at the time. It's basically you're buying, you know, is it the spread or the straddle? Whichever the hell it's called. I forget the names. It's been so long that but the idea is that you're just playing the volatility. But sometimes, like I said, the option premiums are so jacked up and expensive the night before they report that even if you get that big move, you're not making enough on the side you're winning to compensate for the one that you're losing on. That's why they went ghetto. They're taking the far out of the monies. So if you get that big enough move, you're going to do really well on the one you're in, and usually it's easier to compensate. So it was the 112s for 40 cents and the 88s for 40 cents, and the stock tanked to $85. So your 88s went to $3 that you paid 40 cents for. So you lost 40 cents on the 112s, but you made, 3 points on the 40 center that you owned. So you're out of 80. You took in 3, netted 220 on the idea. So you laid out 80. You made 220. Can't complain. I mean, you could, but you shouldn't. And that is that, my friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll jump on around 12:30, 1 o'clock. Email me. We're doing a pretty good job getting back to everybody lately. Or just email me in that personal account, the Warlock at hitthebid.com. Our next seminar, our next 5-hour class will be February 29th. I think it's Leap Day, if I'm not mistaken. Leap Day, the 29th of February. I've been cutting out some of the platform and, I do about an hour and a half of how to find your trade and how to build watch lists and different platforms. I'm going to cut down on that and focus more on the trades themselves, the setups, the VWAP and all that. And I want to talk about a little bit about options. But if I don't get to the options, generally we come back the next day for an hour or so and talk options. So you get your money. You definitely get your money's worth. And rates are going up big time. We're getting rid of that lifetime subscription. I'll give you guys, if you can make your decision by March 1st, I'm going to still let people be grandfathered in and take advantage of a lifetime subscription. Lifetime meaning you're getting at least 3 years to make it worth your money. Everybody gets your money's worth with me. All right. But think about it this way. If you ever want to see what we do and learn about these chart patterns and the intricacies of what we do on a daily basis, February 29th, it's $350 and you get 5 hours. And if I'm nice, I give another 2 weeks. So you take your free month, you do your free month, and I'll give you another couple of weeks to hang out with me. And then by then you'll realize that you can't live without me and you'll want to join forever. All right. So if you're out there also, by the way, some of my guys out there, the ones who've disappeared, Alden, haven't heard from you in a while. Not Jimmy, Maddie from Jamaica, Deb, Laura, I know you're out there traveling the world. Come on back. You guys have lifetime subscriptions. Come on back. I'm in there, man. All right. All right. I'm out. Good luck. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. And hopefully space goes to 35. Let's hope it goes to 1,000. And we'll remember these days. Will you make your decision for Christ? They don't walk off the lot to get out of the rain. Ash Deirdre, she's been around a while. Swing trading's the worst, right? She got a couple of losers that I gave. One Tesla made up for everything, right? One share of Tesla made up for all those ideas. All right, I'm out of here. They're begging you to give you their money. Are you going to take it? Are you man enough to take it? Space is the Tesla, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking space is going to be the new Tesla. It's going to be, you're going to want to Uber, take an Uber to Mars. I want to Uber to the moon. Space. When space, Tesla takes over space and Uber, making it the first space traveling car service ever. All right. I want to do stand up next week. Yeah. All right. We'll go. Call me tomorrow at 1:15. See ya. Space.